So I guess our meeting has started. And like I mentioned to Bertha, we will discuss who's the chair and so on and so forth at our next meeting, inshallah. And then the next item on our agenda actually was our discussion in terms of what we want to do, what ideas we have, and so on and so forth. One of the things to just bring Imam Faisal up to speed, one of the things that we had decided was we are meeting every Monday. The let me check. The third meeting, so we would meet today, we would meet on the 14th and the 21st, which is a Monday right before school starts. So MCPS starts on the 28th. We wanted to do a listening session. And one of the reasons we're meeting so aggressively in August and also before September is because our presentation is in September. So that's why we need to meet more often so we can kind of figure out what our recommendations are. So we wanted to do a listening session, online listening session on the 21st. Imam Faisal, do you have any questions, comments?
Well, I was not at the last meeting. Did they make any resolution or any discussion on this subject? Anyone make any points or so?
No, so the last meeting was our was the MCPS presentation. So we haven't met as a Muslim cohort. This is our first Muslim cohort
Oh,
meeting.
I see.
So we had
Yeah.
a meeting last Tuesday, which was our meeting with the entire task force, where MCPS presented what their plans are, and that was sent by Bertha. The recording was sent, she sent the recording, and she sent the recommendations from MCPS as well. So, and then we kind of broke up into smaller sessions in breakout sessions. And I think the main thing that we talked about at that time was just kind of what our plans are for meetings. So we decided meeting dates, but we didn't decide on we were close to deciding the chair, but our time ran out. So that was in terms of upcoming meetings. In terms of, so what we wanted to do today and on the 14th was come up with some recommendations ourselves, and then the 21st session with the greater community would help us kind of get more ideas and see if there's more avenues that we might not have explored, because we're such a diverse community that we might not have we might have missed some points. So I was looking through the notes from Bertha, and she mentioned 5. We need to come up with 5 recommendations, and everything else can be in the appendix in terms of improvements. But she did mention that 5. So my suggestion really was we can come up with a list and we can share it via email with each other, and then we can do a deep dive maybe on the 14th into some of those areas. Brother, for those, do you want to share some ideas in terms of where you think we might want to focus on? And we can just come up with a long list of items, and then we can start narrowing them down once we have that list.
Thank you, Sister Adila. For those of you that we touched base also the last time to see a possibility of engaging a wider Muslim community, at least from the masjids around us, as many as possible.
Yeah.
Because the scope, the title of this group and the aim of this group is a very simple word, anti-hate, but the task is quite undertaking, and we need to, if I recall correctly, in the first meeting that we had, a face-to-face meeting that we had at the library, there was a one voice or several voices was saying that we need to engage, the bottom up approach, really asking people, what do you think we should do to avoid, prevent, and eliminate hate in the community? And what does that look like from your perspective? So from that understanding, it sounds like to me we need to ask people,
Yes.
and that people should be more than just our immediate communities, that we are presenting.
Yeah, so that is our listening session, right? On the 21st. What I can do is try to put together some simple flyer and share it to the team. But in the meantime, we do know that our meeting would be at 7 o'clock on the 21st. So if you want to reach out to local masajid, or we can divide and conquer to make sure that they have reps there. And then we can kind of start disseminating to the greater community. We can reach out to Kate Chance. She can share it via her forum. We can share it via the county messages as well. So we can get the word out. And again, we're not limited to one listening session, right? We could, if we don't get enough participation, or if we think we have great participation, then we can have these sessions later on as well. Our final presentation is due in November. So even though we're doing one presentation in September, we could refine it by doing more listening sessions and improve on our.
By saying so. No, the reason I reiterated that, Sister Adila, is I want to make sure that especially Imam Faisal Khan, he knows the communities, soft spot and tricks and tips, how to get engaged with the other people than us. So that means whatever the cohort, this cohort later on adopt and introduce as a suggestion, as a from us, that's become, that we have more voices. So Imam Faisal, do you think it's feasible for us? By the 21st?
Well, the only disadvantage that we don't have the time because of the constraint that we have to make this presentation for next month. So, recruiting other voices in the community is a great idea, but I don't think we're able to accomplish that within the next week or two.
Yes.
Okay.
Feedback from them might be difficult.
Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was just saying we're competing against end of summer vacation as well. So.
Right.
Yeah,
So okay, if in that case, how do we alternatively what's the approach? We could create the list. That's not gonna be, that's doable. But how can what should we do to is it just us? And we are missing two people, right, today, right?
we're missing two people today, but we're not finalizing the list today, right? We're just kind of
Okay.
brainstorming ideas today.
Right.
And then we will, they can either listen to the presentation, or if I have points, I can send them via email as well. And we can start.
In my case, I can start it once we agreed on what to ask or what to seek, what kind of feedback or input that we need to seek. I will start getting that, sharing that with the Jama'ah, the congregants that comes to my place.
So let me throw out a couple of ideas. One of the things that I think I had mentioned at the task force meeting as well was underreporting of incidents, of hate incidents that happen in the Muslim community, right? So either cultural background, or not knowing how to report, or being afraid of the repercussions. For whatever the reason, our community does not report incidents.
It's something need to be encouraged for sure.
Yes, so it needs to be encouraged, but there also needs to be a push to give that information out, right? So if, like you mentioned, right, if we have Muslim organizations, if we have our masajid kind of partner with us in getting the information out, then we take the material from the county and from whatever information there is from MCPS as well, right? And we
Right.
try to make sure that we're sending that same message to our communities, right? Because it has to be kind of drummed upon the people that, hey, if you're facing hate in the school, in the workplace, in other areas, it is okay. We want you to report these incidents. Otherwise, we don't know what is happening. So I think the Muslim community has one of the problems.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah. So that was one of the things. And then one of the other things was people that hate, I think they generally hate uh, different are they it's not just they don't just hate Muslims, they might hate other congregations or other types of people as well. One of the very positive ways that I guess I have worked with people in the past couple of years is through a social service platform, and Imam Faisal is very familiar because his mosque does amazing work in terms of food distribution as well, just like ICM has done that. So he's very familiar with social projects. So one of the things was that when we do social projects at our mosques, and Imam Center does the same thing, when we do social projects at our mosque, we are very focused on doing those with our own community. We need to be broadcasting and kind of treating them from a county perspective as places where we bring the Christian and Jewish community into the mosque. So we're doing a social project together. We're going to a different community and participating in a social project. When you're trying to do something together to either feed the hungry or do something for the, let's say, the homeless shelter, right? You're going as a faith community. So you know, okay, we're consciously interacting with a different faith or a different demographic. But that whole positivity kind of humanizes um, the other side. And then you're like, oh, these people are like me. They also care about the same things. So I know we have a bunch of stuff that all of us are doing, whether it's AAPI or African American community, Muslims, Jewish, everybody's doing something. But I think we need to kind of consciously, as leaders, go visit other congregations and make sure we're taking other people with us as well. That dialogue, I think, is very, very important. So I will give those two ideas, and I think I will give it to Imam Faisal because we didn't hear from him yet.
I
Any
think
ideas?
Sister Nazneen has an answer.
Yes, Sister Nazneen, would you like to share some ideas?
Hi, thank you. I'm actually here for the AAPI cohort, just listening in. But one of the things I would say is that I think you're correct that we do have to look at other communities and work with them. But the other thing is that, you know, you were talking about doing your listening sessions. And right now for the Shia community, it's Muharram. You might be able to go to some of the Shia mosques and see if the imams there would let you talk or bring this subject up, since I know right now there are a lot of majlises going on for the Shia communities.
Okay. Okay. Faisal?
Imam, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
She's
The sister still has her hands up.
No,
Is she-
I don't see anybody's hand up. Sorry.
She's there with us.
Who?
Sister Nazneen already shared her ideas. So I wanted to see if you had anything you'd like to share regarding how to tackle hate. Sorry, is my audio not coming through?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, Imam Faisal, any input on the outline that Sister Adila mentioning, especially on reaching out to other community?
Well, we have to come with a very strong statement, and a consensus that will reflect the opinion of the Muslim community. And when it comes to hate, it's not an option we have. We definitely have to find alternatives to combat this dilemma that we're having in our community. So there perhaps might be different approaches to how to deal with hate crimes. There were some recommendations by CARE, a very good documentation recently completed on hate crimes in America, and it's alarming to see the statistics. It's affected Muslims in this country. So we locally here also we experience hate through different methods. Whether it's bullying or direct insults that you might find from other people. So we can always document some of those incidents in our local community here, because I think that's what the county is interested in hearing, not from other communities, not from other states, but what we experience here in Montgomery County. So we really basically have to focus on Montgomery County and get some statistics, some other massages or some individuals who experience hate crimes in the community, and how we can best counteract it with positive, programs basically. But it will take some research perhaps to do that.
Right,
Yeah,
but there is one angle that has been repeatedly mentioned, and Sister Adila just mentioned that also, Imam Faisal, that most of the Muslim communities and masjids are not accustomed, or for one reason or another, we not tend to report the incident. And this is something that this cohort can come up with, how to resolve that and come up with a better solution, so that we have this data that we needed in order to counter the hate situation.
so I work with Sister Zainab as well at CARE. So I can reach out to her regarding a possible, because we don't have any other Muslim organizations in Montgomery County, right? So, well, we do have Masajid.
Yes, no, we
but
don't. Yeah,
we
Imam
don't.
Faisal, we need to revive CMO.
Oh, they have a larger CMO right now.
So if people are comfortable reporting into CARE, and CARE could collect that data, that would be very helpful, right? So the solution has to be a long-term solution.
Yeah, we could reach out to CARE, because CARE do have a lot more data than most masjids.
They do, and they do in Montgomery County as well. But again, it goes back to, we have to educate our communities in terms of these are the ways. For example, MCPS, when we had that presentation, I have a child in high school, right? Some of the information in terms of how you can report incidents, I really did not know about them, and I should know, right? I'm a parent of a high schooler, so I should know those incidents, and I don't know, and I'm very connected. So there might be other parents like that who don't know, who need to be guided, whether it's at the masjid, whether it's at the Jummah, by us or by volunteers that we kind of recruit to kind of say, hey, if there is something happening in your school, we are Sunday schools, right? We have so many avenues of getting the education out to the community, saying, hey, if there is something happening from a hate perspective, we need to report it, and this is the way to do it. So that's one aspect, is the education aspect of it. Second, Imam Faisal, the way I understand it, I don't think the county, in our effort is more about collecting the data in terms of the hate incidents. We know hate happens, right? I think it's more of what our recommendations are from a Muslim community perspective on, we think this will help us. So that was one of those areas where we think, okay, that's where we need to come up with the 5 recommendations of, we think these 5 things will be in the right direction.
I think that's a good direction. I think that for the next coming of weeks, each one of us can present our own recommendations, as regard how to deal with hate crimes in the Muslim community. Of course, we we've experienced our own hate crimes. You know, we've had a dead dog brought in front of the masjid and left it. And then we had a whole set of dirty trash put in our mailbox, you know. So those are incidents, you know, the police both investigated both incidents, you know.
How old are
So
those?
that was, and then we had,
When did they happen?
this happened a lot of part of last year, in
2022,
the
so
fall.
it should be in the Montgomery County Police 2020-2022 report.
Yeah, we did call the police.
Okay,
Yeah, we did report on the police. They did came and they removed the dog, you know.
okay,
And then we had to put a special camera in our mailbox. We eventually caught because it cost us to put a special camera in the mailbox.
okay.
It cost us some money, but we eventually found the culprit, you know. And the police,
Wow.
the police, you know, I do the spread charges against him.
Okay.
So I mean, these are two incidents that we have. Of course, you know, you always have the telephone conversation calling you and say, terrible things about Muslims over the phone and whatnot.
Yes. Both
That's
of
not
those were
unusual.
last year, right?
Huh?
Both your incidents were last year in 2022?
No, it was last year, yes. This
Okay.
19, this, yeah, sorry, last year 2022, yes. I forgot to be 2023. Yeah, so those are two incidents that was recorded and documented and that we had experienced with hate crimes. But we should, as I said, the next couple of weeks, we should be able to focus and make some recommendations. I will come up, inshallah, with some recommendations for next week so that we can able to, you know, discuss some of the approaches that we may have and solutions for the Muslim community and for the community at large.
Brother Firdaus, you had mentioned that there was a hate incident at your mosque as well, right?
Yes.
When was that?
I forgot the month, but it was last year.
So
Summer.
was that reported to the police as well?
Oh yes, we reported to the police, and because the incident was, the gentleman came and maybe he was less than, you know, than normal, because he came, he parked his car nicely, just like any other congregant would, you know, any other Jamaat that come to our masjid to pray. He went to join. He went upstairs. You know, we have 2 floors. You know, the first floor is more for social, you know, space, but we use it for prayer as well. And the second floor is where we our main prayer room. And he went up there, and then he was declaring himself freely, all speech with hate speech and threat. So we reported to the police. I was ready to go to that church because you know, he left the leaflet, and but then Kate Chan's advice to hold off. So that's why we did not do that yet. But then, you know, because we know we are very close with other churches and synagogue around our neighbors, so I share that information with them.
I didn't, I had looked at it originally, but I guess I did not pay that much attention. The police report was shared with us. I think.
Oh, you did? Yeah, okay, yeah.
So I wanted to see if these 2 incidents are in that report. Because we're talking about underreporting, right? So now we know that there's at least 3 incidents from last year that should be in that report.
Sister Adila, I forgot to ask, I forgot, are you from ICM or are you from?
Yes, I am from ICM.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so you are with Dusty, okay.
Yes, I'm with ICM. I was a trustee for many years, and
yeah, you know, one of the founder is my brother at ICM. He passed, late brother.
What's his name?
Shahir Kadir.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes, I am very much from the ICM community.
Yeah, just to make a connection. Yeah, I'm not.
Yes.
So ICM is no stranger from me, so I go there. Yeah.
ICM works with Imam Center right now for the Ames boxes.
Yes. Yes.
So yes, we have a connection. We're all
Yeah.
I guess I had a question for Bertha.
Yep, I'm here.
One of the things that I wanted to know was, because remember I was talking about the second point regarding if there are events happening that are interfaith. So if there's stuff happening, how do we, within the task force at least, is it okay if I email the task force members with ideas, or this is an event that's happening that is interfaith and maybe we go visit that? Because one of the things that is important is to kind of make sure we attend these kind of events, like I said, with our own identities, right? Bringing either a congregation with us, wearing that hat saying I'm coming from these various mosques, or whether it's from a church, and so on and so forth. So I don't know of any other events. I know our Interfaith 5K is coming up, so I definitely wanted to promote that so that we have other teams at as well. Imam Faisal is very familiar with it because ISWA has been one of the pioneers of that one, but Imam Center definitely should have a team. It's an Interfaith 5K on Labor Day Monday, and at the Soccerplex in Germantown. So it has a bunch of teams from Jewish congregations, from Christian congregations, and the more the merrier. So that's one event that's happening. I'm not sure if there's other events. I saw something in Kate Chance's the Faith Advisory Group, the email that they sent out. I think there was something around the September, there was something else in September happening as well. So there's two events that are happening, which might be nice to at least share with our task force. But if we open up the channels of communication, we can create a WhatsApp or whether, but we can share more information, because there were two youth town halls that happened recently. And I attended them. One was in Germantown, one was in Gaithersburg. And the one in Gaithersburg was actually with all of the Muslim, it's not the Muslim, the Maryland delegates, right? We had so many Maryland delegates there. And I was just there as a fly on the wall, just listening to the kids, to kind of what their stories are on hate and bullying and so on and so forth, right? But those I found out by coincidence, very last minute, and I'm like, oh, I should just go there. But I really want more of the task force to be able to attend those kind of things. And if there's something else happening, I want to share with them, saying, hey, go listen here as well, whenever people have time, if they're interested. So at least get the dialogue between our greater group going. So any ideas?
Those are excellent points. I will start researching, looking more into other potential interfaith events happening. I'll tap into our communications network, our council's communications network, and reach out also to the schedulers for the council members who usually get all the invitations.
Yes.
So I think that's a good source. I'm happy to do that. And then, yes, you can share these different events or informations with the task force members. You do have the full list with their contact information, and I can also add it as well as Selena and I send updates to the full task force. That's something that we can include. FYI, these are events that you might be interested in attending, that we want to share with you, the dates, times, in case you're able to. It'll be good for our entire group's work. So yeah, absolutely. I'm in full agreement with you.
Yeah, I had reached out to Kate regarding the Community on Hate and Violence to see what they're doing and what's going on over there. So their meeting, for example, is coming up on the 9th, which is day after tomorrow. So again, if people are interested to kind of see what they are doing, maybe they have some events planned, just kind of being a listener. Again, I want to share that with the greater community, because sometimes when you hear other people, ideas definitely are common.
Absolutely. I can also connect with county executive staff for the Committee Against Hate and Violence. I'm sure they already have information that they can share with me that I can pass to you and everyone else as well. So I'll be following up on that.
Okay. I guess we can get to, because we don't have more people, we will be done faster today. in terms of next steps, so we do have our meeting next week. And during this week, I guess I will find some more interfaith sort of events and send them to team and to Bertha. And I guess all of us are coming up with recommendations on how to address hate. Brother Faisal, you had mentioned the CARE report as well. Even though it is for, it's not specific to Montgomery County, if there are any recommendations in there, those recommendations should be common, right? Hate is hate. So if you have a chance to look at that to see if there are any recommendations from that report that we could add as part of our recommendations, that would be very helpful.
Okay, good idea. I'll do that.
Imam Faisal, do you have that from CARE's report handy, or do we need to inquire one?
Yeah, I have a report. Yeah, I have the report. You can download a copy from CARE too, CARE website.
CARE website, okay.
Yeah.
And then one of the things that we do need to do, which I know that Amber was very interested in, is the MCPS presentation and going over some of the ideas for the schools. However, we can add that as if we find a recommendation that we want to provide to MCPS for dealing with hate. I'm not sure the county can change the, how can I say this? I don't think we can influence that directly, but we can influence that indirectly because the county council does not provide direction to MCPS. MCPS does that with the Board of Education. So we can give a recommendation, but we'll have to see where that goes. So if there's school avenues that we need to explore in terms of, again, it goes back to the education of our kids as well, whether it's at Sunday schools or going through the MSAs at school, but it's educating them in terms of if there's a bullying incident happening at school, they need to report it. And we need to educate the parents in terms of it is their right to report it and it's okay. And there's not going to be a repercussion for it.
I may point out that myself and Imam Shad and the Imam from Potomac and MCC, we did met with the superintendent of schools, Dr. Knight, about 2 weeks ago, and then she called us back again last week. So we had a second meeting with her, and then immediately afterwards, the same day, Elric wants to meet with us. So we went across from one meeting to the other meeting to meet with him. So we did discuss our views as regards just what's happening in the curriculum in Montgomery County Public School. We'll see what happened tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow is when they're going to have the hearing.
Yeah. But
we have some alternative strategy to, if they decide to go ahead and do it. But we'll wait and see. But it's a fruitful discussion with her. She was very glad she met with the leaders of some of the Muslim leaders in the community here in Montgomery County. Give her some ideas about how we look at it.
Any other thoughts? Any other thing we need to look into for the next week before we meet again?
So for next week is we are hopefully we will have the leadership appointment or done part of our agenda next week, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like Bertha said, we could do it today as well, but we're just 3 of us, so hoping at least it's 4 of us when we decide.
Right. Delay a week.
Inshallah, we'll get some more during next week.
Anything else you wanted to share in terms of what we want to homework for this week that we can get done in prep for next meeting?
Well, I'm looking at the.
Maybe
Go ahead,
we
Iman.
can get back. We can go back to our community and get the feedback from some members how they feel about this issue, you know, and get some points from them.
Absolutely.
As we discussed for the next couple of days, we can go to a mosque and interview some people and hear what their thoughts are, you know. You can share their ideas. It's good to have a grassroots perspective of this whole issue. That not only come from us, but from the local level, you know, how they think about it.
There were there were actually 3 documents that Bertha attached to her last email, which were very interesting. I needed to read them a little bit more. So that's why I'm not bringing them up today. But those were examples of recommendations that some other task force in the US had made on the similar topic. So it kind of gives us an idea. So between those 3 reports and then the Muslim report that CARE has done as well, we can look into that. So I think we just kind of need to go research a bit more and then come better prepared next week with ideas. And one of the other things is this meeting happened fairly quickly. However, next meeting, just like we have Nasdeen here, this meeting is open to the community. So if you have other Muslim community members that would like to join, let's get the word out to them, right? Listening session is great, but again, this is a publicized open event to the rest of the community. So if there are other people that just want to join and kind of brainstorm with us, let's have them join us. The more, the merrier. So I'll reach out to some people as well to see if they would like to join next week. Okay.
So maybe we encourage.
We
one
have
or
our
two-
homework colored.
Bring 1 or 2 guests to the next week meeting. Is that is?
Sure.
Okay. All right, let's do that.
Ma'am Faisal, you were saying something?
No, so we have our homework cut out for us.
Yes, we do. One of the sessions now, this is just an FYI, there's 2 sessions happening on Wednesday that I'm very interested in. So maybe we can divide and conquer. One is the community on hate and violence. They're meeting. I haven't looked at the times to see, maybe they're both meeting at a different time. They're meeting that day, and the African American cohort is also meeting, I think, on the 9th. And I really wanted to attend that because there's such a big population of Muslims that is African American, that the issues that they face are double, right? They're Muslim and they're African American. So it is helpful to listen to that session as well. So just wanted to share it here in case anybody else has time.
Wednesday, okay.
Any suggestions you might have, Nasreen, for us? You're 1 meeting ahead of us, so you're older.
No, I mean, we've been discussing a lot. One of the things that we decided to do was try to go to the different cohort meetings to see what was going on, because we really do think that there needs to be cross collaboration
Yes.
between all the groups. So, we have divided ourselves into different arenas. And so one of mine was looking at partnerships and doing outreach. And then, so we're looking at different things. I think that one of the things I would say for the Muslim community also is that if, I feel like there's a difference between how kids are viewing it and dealing with it. And then I also know that there are a lot of adult seniors that are also being affected. And so looking at when you're making recommendations, we're doing this, my organization, the organization that I work for, where we've been doing anti-Asian hate, know your rights. And one of the things we did was on bullying and cyberbullying for students.
Yeah.
Because it's not just, bullying, it's not just at the schools, but it's also because so much on the internet now, it's looking at that. And then for seniors, a lot of seniors also are the ones that don't, something happens and they're like, oh no, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And so really let's looking at seniors, because I think they're very vulnerable to this, and what kind of recommendations can be made there.
That's a really good point. So in the past, I know that, again, working with CARE, we've done a bunch of Know Your Rights workshops for the youth specifically, from a Muslim perspective at the various masajid in Montgomery County. So we've done that, but maybe it becomes part of our, I guess, core offering, right before kids are going back to school, or just in September. I can definitely reach out to Sister Zena for this, just as, hey, let's do a series of Know Your Rights workshops at the various Montgomery County mosques in September. Back to school, let's have this conversation. Let's have this conversation every single year. But you brought up a really good point regarding the seniors. Yes.
And there are senior programs that I think Montgomery County has.
Yeah.
I also don't know, and I'm sorry, my niece used to work for one of the Islamic schools in Virginia. I don't know. I know there's she works for one here, Al Hadi, but I don't know if there are others that maybe also, looking to them to see what they're experiencing.
So we do work with American Muslim Senior Society. It's an organization in Montgomery County that deals with Muslim seniors.
Mhm.
So we have an avenue through them of getting the word out. They do talk to a bunch of seniors, and they do have programs for them as well. So we can definitely partner with them to kind of see how we can get the word out. We can get CARE to help us with the information, but I think the people might be more comfortable reporting into American Muslim Senior Society because it's a trusted organization as far as they're concerned. So, but yeah, thank you for bringing that up. As you were talking, one of the things I remembered that we had done a while back, and this is a couple of years ago, was actually bystander workshops. So one of the things was, as you were saying, when people are bullied and there are people standing around and nobody does anything about it. The other thing we could do would be kind of a revival of the bystander workshops. If hate is happening, if you're witnessing hate, whether it's at a grocery store or in your school, how do you handle that situation? One is prevention, education. The second thing is, if you're in a difficult situation, how do you safely get out of that situation? So
yeah, we've worked with, or we promoted bystander trainings by Right to Be.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
It's an organization. They're based in New York, but they do virtual trainings as well.
Okay.
And we promoted those. We also, so I work with the Asian Pacific American Legal Resource Center, and we have an attorney who is she's our Stop Anti-Asian Hate campaign attorney, but she does bystander, like she's taken the information that she's gotten from those trainings and sort of developed one for here. So she's done ones for, Asian American Health Initiative in Montgomery County. She did a panel discussion, and I think that a lot of what she talks about, and a lot of what she imparts to the community is the same, it's the same for what we would say to the Muslim community as well. So if you like, I can put you in touch with her as well. And she's
Yes,
the
definitely.
attorneys in my office.
Yep, that would be very helpful. I can put my email in the chat. Oh, actually, you have my email.
I do. I'll do.
Yes.
I'll email you and I'll introduce you too.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. I think we are done.
Can I
for-
just ask, I'm sorry, one more question? I apologize.
No,
I-
no, please.
Now I'm taking up a lot of your time.
No, no, you can take the time because I'm fresh out of talking points at this point.
So I guess, you for your next meeting, who are you looking to invite in? What parts of the Muslim community? I mean, I have a very large family and I have many of them who live in Montgomery County. And they're, I have, my niece who is a young, she's a young family. I have, a couple other, I have a nephew-in-law who works at one of the public, who works in the school system at a private school. So they're, in their different walks of life, but I'm happy to invite them to come and, share what they're seeing.
Yes, so the next meeting, the 14th, we might be a little bit focused on picking our chair.
Mhm.
Don't want to define the agenda here. And then the second thing is coming up with at least a list of 10, let's say 10 recommendations, right? And then we start shortening them to 5 or so on and so forth. The one on the 21st is where we want your entire family to be there, your entire friends and family and everybody, right? The more, the merrier. And if we have our list of 10 at that point, we could even do a poll with the audience to kind of say where they think the most value is, right?
Okay.
And whatever those recommendations are, we can improve, we can kind of see if there's legislation involved, if it's something simple where we can work with the massages and get it done. Is it something we need county funds for, so on and so forth. But I think we need one more meeting within ourselves to kind of brainstorm before we say, let's have everybody there.
That is fine. If once I get the link, I can send it out and ask as many of them who are able to attend on the 21st.
Perfect, thank you. But if they have ideas, especially whether it's seniors or kids or any age, if they do have ideas, if they want to shoot us an email or if they want to show up on the 14th, that's fine as well. The more I would rather have more ideas than less. So I can process email. So if you'd like to, if they have ideas, if they would like to send us an email, I'm welcome. I would welcome those ideas.
Yeah, what I was thinking, I have them, they're on a WhatsApp group that I'm on.
Okay.
So, so if I have the information, I can send it out on the WhatsApp group
Okay. Perfect.
and
So,
say, please, if you can come on the 21st, I'll give them, I'll say like 21st, because that way you have more of a
yes.
community event.
Yeah.
And I will ask them if they can attend on the 21st, if they're available at that time and everything.
Perfect. Thank you. WhatsApp reminds me, Imam Faisal, I had a request. This was a very serious request. Can you please get WhatsApp for just between now until November, till the end of the task force? Don't join any other WhatsApp groups. Just keep our group in there from a selfish perspective, and that way we can reach you faster.
Well, they want to share a secret with you. I don't have WhatsApp.
I know you don't. I asked somebody. I speak to Brother
don't have any
Azad, and I
social
told
media.
him.
I don't have WhatsApp or Facebook. I don't have any kind of social outlet.
Yeah, I talked to Brother Azad at ISWA, and I said, okay, does Imam Faisal have WhatsApp? Can you get it for him? And he's like, no, I cannot get it for him. So I did
Make
try.
exception,
No, I don't.
Faisal.
I don't have time for that.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll try to make sure that whatever we do, we share it in emails. Okay. I think we are ready to close.
All right. Good stuff. Well,
Well,
nice to
let's-
see everybody this evening. Imam Faisal,
Yes.
if you change your mind about putting WhatsApp in your phone, call me. I'll help you.
No, 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 I don't plan to. No, forget it. That's not gonna happen.
Okay. All
Call me
right.
the phone or email me.
But you use text, right?
Yeah,
Can
I
we
could
text
use a
you?
text, yes. I have text,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Thank you, Berta.
Thank you very
Have a
much.
Good
Thanks.
evening.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.